Welcome into Gamestetic.
Fuck is wrong
Episode 211. How's everyone doing? Hopefully having a great day, whatever day you're listening or watching this show. Zach, buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. I debated not coming today.
Oh, did you? One of those days. Man, I thought we were going to have a fun day today. John, what about you? Did you almost think about not coming?
I'm thinking about it now.
Oh, I feel like you think about that every week.
I mean, yeah.
Wow, just admits it. I mean, that's fair. I think about that sometimes, and I'm just like, okay. No, we'll go do it. We'll go do it.
Yeah, it's like you bringing me out of my house.
That's the first strike.
Yeah,
it's
strike one.
It's like I gotta get up and go somewhere. That's like 2 strikes.
Isn't that one strike within itself? It sounds
Nah,
like
I
it's
don't
the
like
same
going
thing.
places.
No, the first strike is he has to actually leave his house. The second one, he has to get in his car and turn it on.
Okay, so those are counting 2 strikes for him. I feel like they're one and the same, but that's my opinion. But either way, hopefully you guys are doing well today. It's gonna be we'll make the best out of today. It's not a bad time. It's not a bad time. You know, John's
Don't
got.
make me talk about Switch. It's a bad time.
No, I mean you've got Khazan, the first Berserker.
Yeah. It's like I got one good thing to go this week.
Yeah, and then we have a Switch Direct. Woo! Random Switch Direct that happened this week is the Swan song of the Switch 1, basically, leading up to the Switch 2 Direct next week. So shout out to that, which we will throw out some random predictions. Not really anything notable to talk about, but just kind of, because I will be making a video about that. But some Switch 2 Direct predictions, as well as what's going on with Ubisoft and their main properties and a few other things going on. But if you could, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. We'd appreciate that, as well as check out our Patreon if you want to support us further. Shout out to our Tier 2 patron, Hannah. We appreciate you. All right, let me turn down this music. And also, shout out, just like I was looking at the calendar, we got a fun little slate coming up, boys. You know, because next week we've got the Switch 2 Direct that we'll chat about. Week after that, we got South of Midnight. Don't shake your head. I saw that. Week after that, a fun thing for us, just on a personal level, is that we have WrestleMania 41. Shout out to that. And then after that, we have Expedition 33. So it's gonna be a pretty fun slate over the next few weeks. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. Before we jump into things, anything you guys want to chat about? Anything on your mind that we need to get out into the universe? Shout out to a new series, by the way, Gamestetic Game Shelf. It's gonna be a short TikTok series launching tomorrow on Sunday the 30th. It'll be posted every single Sunday, so follow the channel for that. But yeah, you guys have anything you guys want to chat about? Shout out.
Yeah, I'm probably not leaving my house WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that one, brother. If we have a show that day, number one, it'll be earlier in the day and it will be remote. It's like just throwing that out there. But that's if we have a show. We'll see. But yeah, no, I feel you. I'm very excited for WrestleMania.
Did you see that Among Us got Yakuza skins?
I did. I think I forgot to put that in the weekly wrap up, but I did see that. Yeah.
And then someone made a Baka Mitai video with those skins in Among Us.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
I meant to ask before we started. You got a small thing on it in the weekly wrap up. Did either one of you actually watch the 2XKO
I
broadcast
did not,
that they did?
No, I meant to go back and watch it. I just missed it.
It is great.
Okay.
Because I know one of the big things they showed off was Jinx now being a playable character.
It's a lot of
And they did a
lot of
bunch of game
internal
mechanics, right?
system changes with mechanics as far as like controls and like how the game actually plays. Really, really interesting video that anybody that's interested in 2XKO should go watch.
I still want to duo up in that game.
Also, just for context for listeners, that is the League of Legends fighting game that's coming out. Just for everyone to be aware.
They have a couple things that very interesting in the context of like a tag fighter. They have archetypes in it that are going to be in it called like Juggernaut, and then they have a support as well.
No, let's see that based on some of the stuff I saw during the closed beta when it was up, which I do find it interesting that they did announce it's going to be 10 rosters, because I think only in the beta there was only 5 characters playable at the time. Because there was Braum, Alawi, Time Kid, whose name eluded me, Darius, Ari, Yasuo, so 6. Can you think of anyone else?
I don't know who was playable in the demo, but I think I've seen Katarina.
She was one that was mentioned, but hasn't seen.
She hasn't really been
Braum.
shown.
Braum was also in the beta. Did I say Braum
I
already?
think he started with Braum.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that video, fascinating to watch. It sounds like they listened to every bit of feedback that people had on it.
Yeah, I meant to watch that. I just haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, fantastic to watch. I haven't finished it, but I'm like 2/3 the way through it.
So Katarina, Jinx are confirmed, so that makes 8. Do we actually know the confirmed 10?
I'd have to think about it.
I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, no, shout out to 2XKO. 10 confirmed playable characters for launch. Now, did that also have the launch date? I missed that.
Well, no, because they're mainly talking about early alpha 2 in it. They also said they're gonna scale it back. I think instead of it being like a completely open experience, I think they said they were scaling it back. But they plan on having an actual open one, like open alpha beta type thing, closer to the actual release of the game. They may have said something about that towards the end of it, but I haven't finished the video yet.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Are you looking up the roster?
Seeing if there is a stated roster that stands.
Oh, while he's looking that up, another thing to shout out. I don't know if it'll come out tomorrow or on Monday. Because I'm probably gonna. Because I've got it done. I just got to work on it tonight. But it's something else that will also be starting here at the channel is every month I will be putting up a video for monthly Metacritic predictions for everything coming out for the month. Just because I like to do that kind of stuff. So also keep an eye out for that for the month of April. I think I had a list of like 15 games that I went through and predicted for. And so keep a lookout for that. It will either come out on the 30th as well, or it will come out on the 1st. We shall see which day.
So more or less, I named off pretty much everyone that's currently known on the roster. The Katarina one, apparently she was in footage at some point, but supposedly, at least it seems she may have been cut from the launch roster. Because there's no actual official saying Katarina's going to be in it. But there was some footage at one point in time because I remember that.
She was one of the early characters.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that because it was her fighting Garen, wasn't it? Was it Garen or Darius?
I think it was Darius.
Okay.
Because Darius has been like the front. It's been Darius and Echo has been the front runners.
Yes. And then, so we got 3 characters unannounced for 2XKO. They have an insane pool of characters to choose from.
Yep, that's for sure.
Plus, if they decide to also maybe pull a character from one of their series, Arcane or into Noxus. If I had to vote on a character to see in there, I would like to see Corky.
He would be a fun one.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he wouldn't be in his plane.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would.
The most.
He could be like a projectile trap character.
I mean, if you were gonna do that, you'd just do Heimer.
Well, yeah.
No, you said they have such a deep pool. It's always interesting to see some sort of property get some new game that's like in that sort of scale where it's fighting or whatever, and it's just like, God, just the possibilities are. It's the same thing with Marvel Rivals. You have such a deep fucking pool.
Yeah,
it's like your possibilities are endless, and it's the same thing with 2XKO. It's like you guys, it's just like throw a dart, throw up a dartboard, throw a dart, and just pick something.
I mean, the only big thing with it is just that. Because have you actually watched anything on it? Like the actual way they set up the tag fighter is actually very interesting, and just how tagging in works, how you can combine different characters setups and whatnot. Allows for some very interesting fighting mechanics, in which I'll have to see the video since you're saying it. The core of it's been moderately changed.
The tag mechanics are something that they did change.
Okay,
but some of the archetypes that I mentioned, like support, maintain some of the original ways that you could tag in and use assists and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, because I mean, it sticks out in my mind as a unique tag fighter, just with some of the mechanics I remember from the closed alpha or closed beta, whatever it was, from what I got to watch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're pulling from like every big fighting game and just kind of people like this from here, people like this from here, and putting it together, and it looks like it just works.
Right. Also, one last shout out, and we can hop over to the topics. I wanted to shout this out because I thought both of you would appreciate this. So I was continuing on with my my GM mode that I've got going on.
Okay.
Which also shout out, best placement I've ever got in second place out of 4. Best placement I ever got in the season. So shout out to that. I'm learning. But one of the pay-per-views is Bash in Berlin, right? Not in Berlin, obviously, since it's such a small scale mode, which I didn't know, caught me off guard when we get to Bash in Berlin and CM Punk hits me up, just like, I can't wait to go out and perform in front of my hometown. I'm like, what pay per view are we at? And I look like Bash in Berlin. I'm like, well, what do you mean? We're in Chicago. So yeah, Bash in Berlin is just in a random city. So shout out to that. I guess
mean, it makes sense for the GM mode, but it is weird.
Yeah. For the scale of what the my GM mode is, makes perfect sense. It just I didn't know that. So when it popped up for the week, it's like, oh man, I can't wait to go out and perform in front of my home city. I'm like, I thought we were at Bash in Berlin. What pay per view are we on? It's like, yeah, man, we're at Bash in Berlin. Like, what do you mean? So shout out to that.
That reminded me. So I've been playing my my Road to the Show on MLB. So last week I mentioned that I was about to get called up to the majors.
Yeah.
And it was literally as soon as I got home and hopped on, got called up.
Nice.
And then today finished the season out. Yep. World Series champ.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
What team?
Tampa Bay.
Okay.
The Rays. Here we go.
They're who wanted to draft me the first round.
Respect.
So
nice.
Yeah. It's fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that, and then, like I said, now that I've at least got a World Series on my first character, I'm gonna probably make my pitcher now.
Nice. Yeah, no, I had fun with that season I did of the My GM mode. I got a really good power card where any whatever the highest tier of the talents, I think it's called Immortals, that I was able to get one Immortal for free for the entire season. So I was just
is that different from Legends?
Yeah, so there's Legends and there's Immortals. So Immortals is like the top of the top of the tops because there's like 6 different tiers to scout through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's like the basics, the unknowns, there are established stars, there's like icons, something else, there's Legends, and there's Immortals. So I got that power card. I'm just like, we'll just use it week to week until we get someone that I think could fit into my storyline and stuff. And went and scouted Immortals, had The Rock, and I'm like, I'll take The Rock for a full season for free. Yeah, sure, why not?
Also, is Eddie Guerrero in the roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. So, got The Rock, and then later on, Paul Heyman wanted to trade me John Cena, and I'm just like, I'll take John Cena. Why not? And we were rolling from there, baby. We had.
So you literally just did John Cena versus The Rock
and Punk. It was what should have happened at WrestleMania 29. Is what should have happened. Was the triple threat that we did not get. So we had the once in a lifetime that became twice in a lifetime. So
should have done that instead.
What?
Twice in a lifetime.
We already got twice in a lifetime. This would have been 3 times in a lifetime.
Yeah, but you could have seen if you could have got a better reaction.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's hop into stuff.
Maybe he could have got first if he did that.
Fanfic writing.
Maybe it was NXT that wins. I feel like NXT always wins.
No.
At least every GM mode I do, NXT always comes out on top.
No.
That's what happens to me every time. Raw came in last, so shout to that. Shout to Raw coming in last, and then Paul Heyman with his ECW coming in third.
Did you actually set him up as ECW?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got ECW, NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. Having a good time. But anyway, all right, let's jump into stuff. John, you want to kick things off with Khazan, first Berserker?
Man, it feels nice that a game that I was really looking forward to comes out and is only praised.
Yeah, no, for real. I sent you like the reviews. So reviews for this game has been incredible. It kicked off at an 87 on Metacritic, pretty solid. It did end up going down some. So like PC is currently set in 83, and the 2 console versions both at a 79. But like lots of 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. Like people are loving this game.
I checked earlier. I think there's almost 4,000 reviews on Steam right now, sitting at like a 93% positive review rating.
Yeah.
First Berserker Khazan. I guess I'll just briefly touch on like story stuff. You play as General Khazan, who I don't remember the name of the empire or whatever, but it's like he was a general, basically sent out to the borderlands, and then ends up being accused of being a traitor, sent off into exile, basically to die. And like the initial trailer where they're going through the woods and that is the opening of the game. And then there's like a kind of like a shadow demon that like essentially sees Khazan's beaten body and tries to take him over. And then you kind of go from there. And essentially the game is Khazan is pretty much on a path of revenge to go after the people who betrayed him. And you kind of work with your demon to, because like he has his own agenda and then you have yours, so it's kind of like, I'll help you as long as you help me.
Okay, yeah.
And then you kind of work your way through it. And it's essentially a Souls game. It's like, it's not, I mean, the people who made the game kind of said they don't necessarily call it a Souls game. They call it more of a hardcore action RPG. But yeah, it's essentially a Souls game.
All right, good to know.
There's three different weapons that you end up getting early on in the game, and it's basically your 3 different play styles. You have dual swords, you have great sword, and you have spear. Each has their own respective like attribute scaling associated with them. I don't know much about how the dual blades and the great sword work, because once I got the spear, immediately preferred it, and I have only been using the spear
All right.
since then. Game's pretty fun. It works off of, so the game has blocking, like combat wise, it has blocking, dodging, and then like your various like combo like attacks and stuff. But it has like, whereas a lot of games will have like perfect dodge, this has perfect dodge and perfect guard, which they call like brink guard and brink dodge. Which as you get further in the game and level up more, you unlock more points to where if you like perfect guarding will like do more, like you can have it where it does more like stamina damage and stuff. Perfect dodging it's like it all kind of interlinks in between it, where you want to be either perfect dodging or perfect guarding constantly in fights, because you get you get heavy rewards for doing it the further you get into it. Each weapon has its own separate like fleshed out skill tree.
Okay.
Depending on what you want to do. So I'm currently playing spear. I don't think I'll swap off of it because it feels really fun to play. Pretty fast and mobile, but I'm having a lot of fun with the game. God damn, there are points in this game where I go, man, I don't like these games. I don't like these type of games. It's like it's always a certain boss where you fight and you're just like I've had a couple bosses where it's like I just kind of sat there for like 30, 40 minutes just beating my head against a wall because for whatever reason my timing is slightly off.
Yeah.
I've stopped dying so much. I don't die
That's
hardly
good.
ever now.
That's good.
Now I'll like, I think all day playing today, I think I've died maybe 6 times, and that's to like 3 different bosses. But yeah, I did see there's one boss in the game right now that I think they said they're going to adjust. It's called Viper, and is currently known as the Noob Killer. It is like the roadblock right now.
Oh,
No,
so
he's-
it's
It's
the
the
black
skill check.
It's the Black Myth Wukong tiger for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like
got
there
it.
is it is it
Really,
is-
the tiger?
That tiger pissed me off.
Dude, one thing, just about every goddamn boss in this game is a 2 or 3 stage boss fight. Very few of them that I've fought aren't like a multi-stage boss fight. But even the ones that aren't, like once you get a boss to like half health or a little bit lower, god damn, do they go crazy? It's like they go in rage and get an enhanced moveset. It's wild. And for people who want to play it a little more casually, they do have summons I mean, same like a lot of Souls games. There's a summon outside of every boss room that you can use, and like there is like mechanics in the game where you can buff the summon via like items that you get. Because once you enter into a zone, there'll be like these glowing red icons around the map, and if you run up to them, they either have the icon of dual blade, great sword, or spear, and it basically summons an enemy that you fight, and if you kill it, you get some currency that you can use to enhance your summon. And there are, I think there's 5. Because it's like I think they're called like tormented spirits. But I think there's 5 or 6 different ones that you can activate, and they're the ones that you actually summon to help fight you or help fight with you. And each one gives you a passive benefit as well. So it's like one of them will give you like increased stamina recovery, one of them will give you increased health recovery, or something like that. I haven't unlocked all of them. But you can buff them up to where they have more health, do more damage, or just have more stamina, so that they can survive longer in the boss fights. But yeah, game is incredible right now, and like so far on the maps, I haven't found a ton of like exploration necessarily to do. There probably is more, and I'm just missing it. But I try to run around and find everything that I can.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like zone based?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because the game basically takes place in 2 different areas. You have your hub world, and then
What's the comparison? Because like I was thinking, like, would you compare it to like either like a Ragnarok style, Legends Arceus style, or like maybe a Tales of Arise style? Like, what are we talking? When we say zones?
So the game takes place in two different areas basically. You have your home base, which is called the crevice, and you do all of your upgrading, dismantling, crafting, and everything there. And then you have like when it's time to go to a mission, there's different like stone pillars that you go to that open up and let you travel to a new area. And then once you're in there, you're in like the zone to explore.
Oh, okay.
And then like you can once you're in that zone, you have to go to I don't remember what it is, essentially the bonfire, and then you can travel back to the crevice. Then once you're at the crevice, the nice thing is when you're at the crevice from the beginning, you can travel to any unlocked like bonfire that you've been to.
Oh, nice.
So like if you need to go back to like if you're at a boss and you're struggling, you go back to like try to upgrade your armor or something, or like craft some more consumables or something, then you can teleport right back to that boss room. That's one nice thing that it has. I just unlocked. Well, earlier today, I just unlocked the ability to like craft consumables, which I was desperately waiting for, because like you get some, but they're kind of sparse, which is like, and by consumables I mean like elements that you can add to your weapons, essentially like would be like your fire, lightning, grease, or something where it just adds the element to your weapon for a limited time. Or like your throwables of each element, because like you get some while you're exploring, but you don't get a ton. You get all the stuff to craft it, and now that I can actually craft them, very happy about that. Makes some stuff a lot easier. Because I haven't noticed too much difference with like adding the element to my weapon, but the throwables are pretty strong. I like the throwables right now. But yeah, game is really, really good right now. Really fun action game. Also, it's like it's not too difficult. Like,
what's a comparison to that? Like if you had to put it on like the scale, like of difficulty, how these types of games go? Like, what's a good comparison, like a Lies of P kind of thing around that range?
Combat's probably closer to like a Liza P than like necessarily like a Elden Ring or like a Dark Souls or
Or
that.
Black Myth or whatever.
But it's one where difficulty wise, let's put it this way. I'm dying way less in this than I did when I was playing Elden Ring.
Okay.
Because like in this one, if you're not as good at dodging, you can always try parrying. And almost every attack in the game, you can you can do the brink guard on. And there's a few unblockable attacks, but those attacks you can like on the skill tree you can spec into a counter attack, and the counter attack will block those hits. So there's a way to deal with every attack in the game,
Nice.
whether it's counter attack, brink guarding, or dodging. I've kind of fit more into the realm of like brink guarding right now, just because I have a bad habit of always dodging into where the attack is going to be. Also, the attacks track incredibly accurately in this game. Like if you're like they'll always be targeting you. So if you're trying to like run around or like dodge, they would. If you don't time it just right, you're still going to get hit by everything. But yeah, I've kind of gone the more like parry route, which has been working a lot better for me. I don't know if that changes depending on the different weapon types you pick, and maybe you'd want to try parrying or something, because I'm also playing like the longer range weapon right now.
Right. Parry would probably be what I would prefer.
It's easier for me to try to parry because I'm a little further away and I can see a little more clearly when the attacks are coming.
Makes sense.
But yeah, the game is getting a ton of praise right now, and deservedly so. I'm probably only like a quarter to a third of the way done with it right now, and I've played for a little over 10 hours. A little bit of that is probably like 30 minutes of that is just the game running.
Right.
But I've really only had two kind of like roadblock bosses for me right now. One of them was Viper. That one didn't take me too long though. I think that one was like 45 minutes. Just because I struggled to make it to phase 2 a lot of the time, and then once I got to phase 2, it was both easier but harder, because the second part of phase 2, the area darkens up to where like he runs out into the darkness and then comes in, so you have less time to react to it. But they're like, it's less chain hits in that phase, which made it a little bit easier for me. And then I don't remember the name of the other boss that gave me trouble, but I was fighting it last night. And I was getting a little mad fighting it, but I got it done. And then, like I said, today I haven't really had any issues with any bosses so far today. Mostly beat him in like 2 or 3 attempts all day today.
Good. You're getting better at Souls-like games. Look at you.
Yeah, this one I'm probably gonna actually like go through and play all the way to the end, just because I'm enjoying this one more. Like, I'm enjoying this one more like gameplay wise right now. Story wise, it's pretty interesting, but the big thing is I really like the art style of this game.
Oh, the art style is beautiful.
It draws me in a lot more than like the Souls games have, or like even Elden Ring. Elden Ring looks great, but I prefer the art style that this game has. But yeah, I'm definitely having a lot of fun with it right now, and it's one that like if you looked at it and thought it looked cool, but like hadn't started playing it yet, I would say yeah, pick it up. It's worth picking up.
Nice.
My biggest thing from this is just that this game is doing well, so it opens up for more sort of focus-based storylines in the DNF universe. Because, I mean, DNF, they have their MMO, of course, then they did their fighter, which is give or take, depending on how you feel about the fighter. But this one doing well really opens up a thing of just them being able to do solo games for like the gunner, mage, fighter, all the other characters in DNF.
Yeah, because I don't know a whole lot about the DNF universe, but like all of the characters that are introduced so far seem, especially like where I'm at in the game now, it seems like it's getting more into some of the lore of like how characters know each other. Because now
Yeah.
I'm starting to meet like underlings that were like Khazan's underlings that I'm starting to run into. So it seems like it's starting to get more into that lore, and especially with how well this game's doing. Yeah, I could see people being like playing the game and then wanting to know more about it, wanting to see more about it,
Yeah.
and then be interested to see if they try to do another similar game to this, or if they just start bringing more games out, expanding on that universe.
I would hope so. They would expand on the universe because, I mean, the Berserker storyline very much fits his whole Berserker archetype and things like that. So I would hope they wouldn't keep core, change a little bit to fit each specific character.
Yeah, because I could see not necessarily keeping like this same gameplay style, but
Yeah.
go more of like, instead of it being more Souls-like, be more adventure action-like
Yes. Like
for some other games.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if they did like, because I never actually played DNF. I just always sort of kept on. I always knew of it. I don't remember if it's called fighter or monk or if they're both a thing. You could do.
They probably are. That game has. They have a class for anything you could come up with.
Yeah, because for that they could do something like a not Wolong, but Sifu almost style game.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That.
Pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, looking forward to continuing playing the game. I'm trying to play as much as I can of it right now, but it's also one of those things where like
Gotta take a break every once in a while.
it's one of those where it's like I could play it for like 2.5 hours, and then I need to take a break from it. Like some people could sit down and play these type of games all day long and have no issue with it. I got to take a break from it every now and then because this is not this is not really my type of game. It's just it looked interesting, and now I'm really enjoying it. So I'm like, I'm gonna play it, not play it too long to where I'm getting mad at it, so that I can come back to it.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. That's definitely fair on that front. Because these are definitely the type of games that can get you frustrated. That's for sure. But yeah, look at you though. You're getting better at Souls-like games. You know, now you can step up to the ultimate challenge of Sekiro. So that can be on your list one day.
That's not just like a single step thing.
No, it's not. That's a leap.
Yeah, you're going from like I've said, this is like
I know,
I would say
baby entry.
This is an entry mode version.
Yeah,
of
I
this.
know.
Because like even with like perfect guarding and perfect dodging, there's a decent amount of leniency in those. As long as like you're pretty close to the timing you're gonna get it. If you try to do it too early or too late, you're screwed. But yeah, there's a ton of this game really kind of lets you play it in a bunch of different ways, because like there's a ton of different skills that you spec into to for activation skills that you have like different resources that you can use to do them. So there's, especially like with the different weapon types, each having their own full fleshed out weapon tree and like skill tree. Like I'm playing it with the spear. I'm very curious especially with how I've been going in some of the fights I've done. I'm curious how a greatsword looks fighting that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then some, I'm like, man, play a dual blades with this would probably go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, having a blast right now. Gotta keep playing it. I'm gonna try to beat it. It pretty soon, because there's definitely some games coming out that I want to be done with this one in time to play those.
Yeah. Big month ahead. So I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. Now, shout out to Khazan, the first Berserker. Like I said, reviewing very well right now. So love to see it. Love to see it. That it's a good way to end off March, heading into a pretty strong April of games. So shout out to that. All right, let's shout out some merch. Let's do that. Use the referral link down below and head over to Agent Inc. and pick up a jersey or one of our hats, and we'd appreciate that support. Or you can head over to sparky3shop.com and pick up one of our shirts or one of our hats over there, including the We Have Hats hats. So you can pick that up, or the famous bee or the lonely boy or anything of the sort. So shout out to sparky3shop.com or use the referral link down below for Agent Inc. and pick up a jersey. All right, boys. Let's talk about Nintendo, the Nintendo Direct, the Switch One's Swan Song Direct. We can call it, because honestly, when you look at just kind of the stuff that was on there, it's not a groundbreaking Direct by any means, but it was that one last little cherry on top for the Switch One. It had some pretty interesting announcements, as well as some pretty cool follow-ups to some stuff. Just kind of going through the list, I mean, by far the biggest announcement would be the Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. When the announcement came up, like the trailer, and it ended, I was like, okay, Tomodachi, this is notable, right? I acknowledge that. I didn't fully comprehend how big of a deal that was. Like, where Christina had to tell me, was like, you don't understand how big of a deal this is. I'm just like, now, are you saying that, or is that legit? And then I go check on Twitter, and my entire Twitter feed is blowing up over Tomodachi Life. Tomodachi Life was #2 trending on Twitter, only behind MLB opening day. And I'm just like, okay, all right, let me step back. I guess this is a massive
Is it
deal.
because it's
Shout out.
Tomodachi, or because they're actually using the Mii's?
Just because the Tomodachi Life just has an ungodly strong cult following.
Okay.
Like, people just loved Tomodachi Life.
Okay.
Has been crying for a new one, begging for a new one, and now they got it. And man, everyone was pumped. So no, shout out to Tomodachi Life finally getting its return. It's been cool to see over the last year or so, a lot of older single off games or IPs kind of getting revivals, because another one that's coming out soon is Fantasy Life, for example. Your freaking Rhythm Heaven got a new game in this thing. So it's cool to see some of these older things getting another chance at life, like Tomodachi Life. And even Nintendo, they understood the assignment. That's why it was the last game revealed. They knew what was going to come out of it. Even if we didn't, they did. Because again, #2 trending on all of Twitter, only behind MLB of opening day. That's pretty solid.
I mean, another Story of Seasons got brought back up.
Yeah, the Grand Bazaar, which that one I think is New Beginning remake or something, right? Or is that a complete? Or is that a completely new game? Because I thought that was a remake.
It is a remake of a DS.
Yeah, because I think it's New Beginning is what they're remaking.
Possibly.
I think that's what she told me, because the moment she saw this, she kind of groaned because she's tired of Story of Seasons. But either way, that got its comebacks. I mean, it was an interesting Direct, man. I'll definitely say that. So
Patapon,
yeah, shout out to Patapon too. Another one that's just oh, look at that. I mean, God bless, man. One that when I saw it, I immediately messaged Christina. I was like, oh yeah, you might be interested in this game. And I told her it was Witchbrook, and she's just like, I've put that game out of my brain because I was convinced that game was dead. Apparently she was already looking forward to it. And it was funny. She sent me a TikTok about it. And she's just like, I'm glad to know everyone in the comments was on the same page as me. And I scrolled through, and everyone in the comments is like, I just forgot this game existed because I was convinced it was not going to come out. Because apparently this thing's been in development for so long. The last update was 6 freaking years ago. Not really, but it's been a large gap from where the game was originally revealed to this big reveal that it's come out this year. So overall, just interesting Direct is the best way to put it. But no, the big things to come out of this was Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. And then Metroid Prime 4. Got a pretty good look at that, as well as Samus with her new psychic powers. And
I just gotta say,
I know
there's something. No, this isn't that.
Okay, all right.
There's something really funny about when they bring up the psychic powers, because they're like, Samus could use psychic powers to interact with the environment and open doors.
Yeah,
I fucking lost it.
I gotta say, they're just she can use psychic powers, and it popped up the splash font, whatever, and it's she can open doors, and I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm like, you're really not selling me on the psychic powers.
I was gonna ask you how you felt about the psychic powers, because
my whole thing, I'm gonna hope it's bigger.
That's my whole thing watching that, because and she gains mysterious psychic powers, and they do a Thanos gauntlet hand thing with it. And I was like, then they show the gameplay. I was like, I'm not feeling it for puzzle solving.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. I have a feeling like I've not played Metroid Prime or anything. This to me looked like we're gonna add in a mechanic so that we have an excuse to make a bad puzzle for you.
that's basically what it feels like.
Because all I saw during that was like, I better be able to use it in combat somehow.
Yeah, no, I mean, the redirecting of your beams was kind of cool. You know, that was kind of cool. But, like, that's the only things they showed was redirecting of the beam and opening doors.
And
I'm just
honestly,
like,
they didn't need to do psychic powers to do that. That could have just been a mod Sam's got for her gun.
yeah, so I don't know. As of now, I'm not really vibing with the current display of the psychic powers. I'm going to hope it's going to be better. But everything else about it, the game looked cool. It's like, all right, this is Metroid Prime. We're all the way back. Let's go. Looks fluid, looks great. The environment looks cool. The little suit they showed at the end looks sick. Everything looks great. My one question is, you know, it's already kind of established from, I mean, if we're continuing from 3, you know, about someone that's following Samus, it'd have been cool to see him in the trailer. Where's he at? Is he going to at least appear in the game? Because he was kind of like, you know, the end part of 3. So, you know, there's some elements that overall the trailer looked cool, but the psychic powers part, I understand and respect the idea of the mechanic, but you're gonna have to sell me more on this because right now it doesn't look great.
I'm gonna be honest. Seeing the Metroid Prime first-person UI and HUD after so long is really jarring. There's a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on there. Yeah, no doubt. You know, it does look really clean though.
I mean, it looked clean.
Yeah,
yes.
it looked clean, but there's a lot going on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I will say one thing. If you don't see this in the Nintendo 2 Direct in a couple days, I call bullshit on their 2025 release. Though.
Don't do that. It's gonna be in the Switch 2 Direct.
If it's not in that Direct, you were already sweating bullets when all they said was 2025.
Yeah, yeah. Because shout out to our Discord of where, you know, John's just like, Nintendo Direct tomorrow, and I'm like, Prime 4's time to shine. Next day, all I sent back was, fuck you, John. And then a few minutes later, John's just like, no release date. And I just sent back the sweating bullets because I was like, oh god, I can't let John be right on this.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't show something with the Nintendo, because the only reason they wouldn't have shown an actual release date is so that they could say it that it's coming out
with the
as a
Switch
Switch
2
release. But if that doesn't happen, I don't believe the game's coming out.
At
least this year.
I'm in the boat that it is a day one game.
Yeah,
that's my
all I'm
mindset.
saying is if you don't see it in a couple days, it's not happening.
It releases on December 31st, John.
Yeah, according to Amazon at least, that's what it's going to be listed as, or GameStop or whatever. Then we got another look at Pokemon Legends ZA.
I don't know what I mean. All they showed us was now we get to have Night Fight Club.
Yeah, I know.
We can't Fight Club.
We can't talk about it. We can't talk about it.
And we can mug trainers for ranks.
Yeah.
Right.
They made a whole point of being like, you could find Pokemon in the wild areas, and then sometimes they'll be out in the world, even on top of a building.
Right.
And then they're just like, then at night
Everything changes.
I was like, what's happening?
It's straight up Pokemon like underground fighting. Oh my god!
You go from rank Z all the way. Was it?
Yeah,
did you start
Z
at
to A.
You
Z
start
to
at
A.
Z.
And I'm just like, so we had biker gangs in the last one. Now we're getting
Underground fighting, basically.
that's not underground, but just at night, and people, I guess, just close their windows and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
don't look at them, child. They're
Don't go
Pokemon
outside
trainers.
at night. Don't go outside at night.
The police only work while the sun's up.
Oh god.
You know, one of the heads of the Rego match is going to be like an officer or something, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I can just
I'm
imagine.
on the bad side of the law.
Just imagine like living in that city and looking out your window. There's just a couple traders fighting out there. They start mega evolving, and you're just like, oh, we're not getting our deposit back.
You're just trying to enjoy an evening meal, then you just hear a on top of your building. What was that?
Yeah. What is going on out there? Wait, what time is it? Oh god, it's some hoodlums out there again. Oh geez. No, the whole nighttime fighting thing. You know what? Looks fun.
Now all I can think is, how does this work in with the whole tourism thing, trying to build up the city and whatnot?
Yeah, I know, right? That's gonna really bring in some tourists. You know what I mean?
No, that's a daytime activity.
I mean, it is a daytime thing, but it's just like during the day, I'm a realtor. At night,
Yeah, right,
At
right.
night, I'm rank C.
I'm a C rank fighter.
Oh God.
I
No-
just expect to see someone dressed up as like the Coliseum guy.
Oh, dude, that'd be legit. That would be legit. No, the whole ZA aspect of the game. I mean, they tease this, whatever. Looks fun. Look, it's stupid. It can be memed on so easily, but it does look like a lot of fun. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
I saw a great short the other day. I was just like, this is what ZA is gonna be at night. It's just Brock from one of the early ones. Just throw his fortress explosion.
I saw that. Just jumping out of nowhere and just jumping you. Oh God. Oh. Yeah, that's straight up what's going to be, dude. You're going to be walking around at night because they already showed it. Trainer's going to catch eye contact with you, and you got this more open battle format now.
Yeah.
So it's just like, jump them! Explosion!
Well, they also showed that like you could have like your mon out, sneak up behind somebody, and just attack them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this game's going to be a meme. You know, this game's going to be a meme, and I'm going to be here for it.
Yeah. Then we also got to look at Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
I know.
HDD
Look
remake,
at that. You pumped
which,
for that one?
I still got to go back and beat 3.
The
but
answer
yeah,
is yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still excited for it. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna pick them up.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm still on my quest to play all the Dragon Quest games at some point.
Right. And this way you can get the Edric trilogy, you know, in all of its glory. So, yeah, no, shout out to that because that was one of the lead off. That was the lead off, wasn't it? I think that was the lead off game for
It
the show.
may have been.
It was one of the first ones.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it was number one.
But it's also one that we've been kind of waiting on because
Yeah.
last year they mentioned it was going to be like, I think they said last year it was going to be like one of the like first few games that actually came out.
right.
So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Also, before we hit the next one last thing I do want to shout about Pokemon that's pretty cool. With some of the Pokemon they revealed in the trailer, you can now get every single Pokemon on the Switch. So shout out to that. Yeah, some of the last ones that were not available on Switch in any form are now available, which would apparently be the 3 elemental monkeys from 5, as well as like one of the basic gen like normal types. I can't remember which gen it's from. It's like Watchhog. That might be 5 as well. And then there was like a couple others. But yeah, now that they revealed them in the trailer, so with that said, every Pokemon out there can be caught in some form or fashion on a Switch game. So shout out to that. Kind of an interesting little fun fact. And then another one that we got revealed pretty early, and I texted you about it because I'd never heard of this one. Raito, is that his name?
Yeah.
Raito Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army.
I don't know why they changed the name, but hey,
Yeah, because you said this was
it's Devil Summoner.
Yeah, like once you told me that, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I've heard of
because
Devil Summoner.
It's a remastered Devil Summoner, which is a sort of a slightly left field, but I mean, it makes sense to me because I mentioned he was like, after Persona, Devil Summoner was the next cult
Right.
in Atlas's toolbox.
Yeah.
Because like the original game was literally just Devil Summoner, Raito versus the Soulless Army. Mm-hmm. Or it was either the Soulless Army or like the 100-something army.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because when it started playing, it showed his little I forget what they're called, what he calls them. I saw a little thing. I was like, why is that familiar? And then they started doing lines. I'm like, really? It's like, we're doing Devil Summoner again? All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool little remaster to bring something up. You know, something I've never played, so I'm
It brings
interested.
it up to more or less their modern style with the Shin Megami and then Persona. So I mean, it'll definitely be a very fun game.
Yeah.
I assume they're gonna do a hard change on the mechanics, based on some of the stuff we saw there. I mean, the core mechanics are still there. I'd have to go back. I'm fairly certain the original Devil Summoners weren't free action RPG. I'm fairly certain they were turn based. So that's going to be a little different. Doing that. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a fun little game.
Right. Yeah. The next one, which we had already previously seen, but I wanted to include it in here because I'm just excited for
We
this
got so
game.
much for this.
Yeah, Shadow Labyrinth got the release date for it coming
Yeah.
out. I think it was like this June or July. This game just looks still so sick. I'm really excited for this game. This is the dark like Pac-Man spinoff. Just looks great.
It's
Just
our
looks really good.
Metroidvania Pac-Man game.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited for this one to come out. It's gonna be a good summer title.
I do like the fact that a whole core mechanic of it is just letting your Shadow Pac-Man eat things to power up.
Yeah, I know. It's great and it looks cool. I'm really excited for this game, dude. This game looks really cool. So I'm glad
And
we got
then
the
the
release date
whole-
for it.
Because this was the one where it's like, and at times you can fuse together.
Yeah, and getting they introduced like that mech whatever, which I forgot what they called it. But no, yeah, that looks sick as well. So
All I can really hope for this at this point is that in some form or fashion they theme the bosses around the ghost.
yes, yeah,
You
that
would
you got
imagine
to.
that they have to.
I would
Yeah,
hope so.
You got to. I mean, come on.
But you don't know.
You're right. You don't, but you got to. Yeah, I mean that would be great. You got to have the bosses themed after the ghost, right? That'd be 10 out of 10. And 10 out of 10. You got to do it. You got to do it. So either way, Shadow Labyrinth looks really sick, man. I'm excited for this one over the summer.
You know what doesn't look sick?
What?
Fucking virtual game card.
Yeah, that would be the next pretty
This
big
thing,
announcement. Yeah.
All this did was make me mad.
All I saw was like, oh, they're really pushing the digital game agenda by
Yep.
making digital physical games.
Basically.
This is the stupidest way I've ever seen of handling digital games. You don't get a library, or it's like you get a library, but you can only share it for 14 days to another system. It's like, why can't I just fucking sign into it and download my game?
So the 14 days I think is just for the family.
That's for the family shit.
yeah, that's for the family.
That's like as long as it's a Switch that's in the family, you could share it for 14
Now
days.
if it's your two Switches, you can swap it and stay.
Yeah, if it's your account.
Yeah, but if it's my account, I have another Switch. Why can't I just download the game? And it's like, why
That's
do I need
true.
to ever worry about a virtual game card?
Yeah, so that is true. Like,
Yeah.
if you have two Switches and you buy a digital game, why can't you just log into the eShop and download the game twice
And have it already on both
on
consoles.
both consoles? Now you're gonna have to have this virtual game card to swap it console to console.
You know what every other console does? They let you have multiple accounts on it.
Yeah, true. Which I mean, you can have multiple accounts on the Switch.
But guess what? Your cards are locked to your account.
Yeah, you got to have like the family plan or whatever, or swap the
Yeah,
virtual game
it's just-
card.
just-
It is a wild decision. It's on my mind. I mean, the whole thing's moving digital. It is a nice first look if someone's trying
This
to
is-
take on it. Is it very optimal or very user friendly? I can't say. As it stands right now, it doesn't seem like it.
This is the most Nintendo way to do something ever.
Facts.
Yes.
That's what everyone said. Everyone said basically what you said, how it's like overcomplicated and stupid or whatever. And that is what everyone has said is like, yo, everyone else out there has the most easy way to do this, and now
Yeah.
Nintendo comes to do it all these years later and does it the most convoluted, stupid way possible.
The thing is, like, you can send the virtual game card to somebody that's in your family plan so that they can have it. God forbid that they install it on that Switch and then walk away, because otherwise they're fucked, because you have to sit there so that it can connect to the other Switch locally before they can actually do anything with it. That's one thing that they said,
Yeah.
which is like, yeah, God forbid they download it and the other person like goes somewhere or leaves. It's like, okay, well, I have it, but I don't have it.
No, like I mean, it's Nintendo trying to be unique. They're trying to do something different. You know, I guess commend them for it, for trying to be creative. But this one's kind of silly. You know, I think it's just better of just like, you buy digital games to your account, just let us go download it.
When they started talking about it, I was like, because like right now, like if you buy games digitally on Switch, it's a fucking nightmare right now to go through and find your games, be able to download stuff. It's a pain in the ass. And they started talking about, it's like, oh, we're gonna have like an actual library that has everything
Yeah,
consolidated
dedicated
and everything
menu.
there, and then I'm like, oh no, that's not what this is at all.
Yeah. So yeah, you got your dedicated menu of just your virtual game cards, but then it's like the transferring of it switch to switch. So I don't know. I mean, again, it's Nintendo being Nintendo, right? You know, leading up to the
Right.
Switch 2, this is Nintendo being Nintendo.
Give it another 15 years, and they might catch up to where the rest of the consoles were 10 years ago.
Right? Yeah.
At least as far as handling digital games.
Right. And you know, the reason for maybe going this route, man, I really couldn't tell you. Maybe the only possible guess that I can think of, because I've got this down in the notes, is with the reveal of this virtual game card thing in the fine print of all the breakdown of the on the blog site, whatever, is they did specify that Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games and Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games can only work on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, number one, implying that there will be upgraded versions of current games, which thank God we could have assumed that, but you know, them putting it in their own website in fine print kind of confirms it, because there are plenty of games that need it, and there are plenty of games that would be really cool to have. So maybe that's why they wanted to go this route, to try to separate the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition versions of current games. I don't know. It's just
It's
Nintendo
still weird.
It's still
I mean,
Nintendo being
it's still
Nintendo.
weird. It's just Nintendo being stuck on the idea of the game is contained on a cartridge.
Yeah.
It's like we don't live in that world anymore.
I
It's
wish
like,
we did.
Granted, most people, I would say, well, not most people. A lot of people still buy and prefer physical games.
Hell, the physical cartridge is less complicated than the digital one.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, well, how would you? They're like, how do we handle digital games? Like, well, what do we do with physical ones? We hand someone our car. Let's do that with the digital. It's like, okay, well, that should have been vetoed right away.
Right. Right. But again, it's Nintendo being
It's
Nintendo.
gimmicky.
Yeah. It's just one of their multiple gimmicks.
John, they made a portable console with a handle.
Shout out to GameCube. But no, I will kind of, let me circle back though. I am excited for the idea of Nintendo Switch 2 edition of games, because like I said, there are some games that need that love, and there are some games that would just be cool to have that love. Like I think we can all agree stuff like a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom would be really cool to have, but then stuff like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, that kind of needs it. That runs like absolute ass on the current Switch, as well as, you know, some other titles. So like, you know, that's exciting to see the possibility of getting enhanced versions that for the Switch too. I'm excited for that
Chances that you have to
possibility.
pay to have that version.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it is, I'd imagine it'd probably go in the same direction,
it's
like similar to,
Nintendo.
yeah, it is Nintendo.
They're not gonna let you pay a $5 to $10 charge to do it again. You know, it's Nintendo way to buy it again.
I know. I'm going to hope that they just take a page out of Sony's very convoluted book and let you do the $10 upgrade if you've already got it. That's what I'm going to hope
Not
for.
gonna happen.
But I guess we'll find
that'll
out.
be $69.99, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to hope that it's going to be $10 upgrades for stuff, because that'd be pretty sick. And then they also revealed this new mobile app, Nintendo Today, which is already available for download now. You can also set it up to be like some widgets on your phone if you have an Android device. So it's kind of neat. I mean, it's just all one and stop news source essentially, and they've already put it to good use by revealing the release date for the Legend of Zelda live action movie, which I know a lot of people immediately, it's like, why wasn't this in the direct? Because they revealed it the next day, and I'm just like, I mean, simple.
They wanted somebody to use the app.
Yeah,
that
wanted to push the app. I mean,
It naturally puts something exclusive on
yeah,
the app.
exactly. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. But I got to say, you know, too bad for the Zelda movie. Comes out at the worst possible time. Good luck competing with Sonic 4. All right, I'm just saying. Comes out a week after Sonic 4, so that's gonna be a fun month. But
I'm not gonna see either of them.
yeah, I know you won't, but I will see both of them.
Link just Deku masks Sonic and sends him to the Dark Realm.
Nah, man. Shout out to Sonic 4 though, man. Shout out to Sonic franchise. Like I saw where it's like Sonic 3 crossed like, God, man, I don't remember how much. It was like 400 and something, 80 million domestically, whatever.
Okay.
And it's just like the budget for the movie was like 120 something mil, you know? It's like as a franchise, it's grossed so much stupid amount of money. Shout out to that. But no, I mean, Nintendo Today app, you know, I did download it and check it out. It's, you know, it's kind of interesting. I did like how where, you know, when you got to go pick your favorite games, there were a couple franchises that were right in front and center, like Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, for example. So that's cool. But yeah, it's still pretty much just like kind of the current notable ones. So you can't sit here and say, oh yeah, I want Star Fox news, because obviously there's not. But you can select like Mario, Kirby, Zelda.
Let me know about Golden Axe, guys.
Yeah, Golden Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about that one, right? But shout out to Fire Emblem, Xenoblade being kind of front and center. But that seems neat, I guess. Like I said, it'll be a one-stop shop for Nintendo Direct news, and like I said, they already put it to good use. But is there anything else in the Direct you guys want to shout? The only other thing I would say is that Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That one looked pretty cool. But other than that, that was the only thing that I had and shout out with the rest of the list of the reveals.
I do like that the AI Somnia Files is getting another game in terms of No Sleep for Konami Date.
Mm-hmm.
So that series is just a one that's always on the side that I know about. That's very interesting to see. It's got another game coming.
Right. Another one just kind of shout out, just for other reasons, not necessarily for this game specifically, but Everybody's Golf Hot Shots.
Okay.
Shouting that one out just because, that is like a Sony property that
Yep.
they basically sent out to Bondi. Just like, hey, make a game. Sony's been kind of doing that a lot recently, so that's something to kind of keep a lookout for with the Switch 2 Direct, because I've got some personal thoughts on stuff that we could potentially see there.
The Saga Frontier 2
Yeah.
remaster. That's a nice one that came out because it's on Steam as well.
Yep.
And then I don't know if I'll pick it up because it required me to pull out my Switch, but the interesting platformer of Internal Life of Goldman, him and his magic shovel.
Nice. What about you, John? Anything that? Yeah, I figured not, but wanted to ask.
This wasn't the Direct for me.
No, it wasn't.
My interest peaked early on in this Direct, and then from there I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough. Some other news to kind of shout out though is that there was a Nintendo Switch 2 render on Nintendo Today that did formally reveal the C button that was in all the leaks. Because keep in mind, in that big fancy reveal trailer, the C button was not on the Joy-Cons. They left it out, I guess, for big surprise purposes, because it's going to have some sort of feature that I'm assuming we'll see on Wednesday. So just shout out to that. And then also, per Insider Gaming, the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders are set to go up on April 9th, and the console launch is set to be in June, is the current report, which I've seen that report quite a bit recently, is that June would be the launch date. So basically, big reveal next week with probably your price point, your launch date. Then you've got the play tests for the rest of the month, which unfortunately I did not get selected for. And then the big lead up for June. So shout out to that. But like I said, overall, I would just call this like Nintendo the Switch 1 Swan Song Direct. Yeah, it's some pretty notable titles kind of come back from the grave in this one, as well as just some cool updates on a couple titles. I mean, it was overall just a very solid, it's a okay Direct. Depending on the audience, it's fine. It's fine. So I don't know. Shout out to that. The tying into this, my question for you guys is: did you guys have any Nintendo Switch 2 Direct predictions? Possible features, your idea of a release date, a price point, launch titles, whether it's first party, third party, anything. Like I said, I'm gonna make a video about this in a few days. So just wanted to see if you guys had anything that you guys were kind of thinking about.
Release an Elite controller with the same day.
With the Elite controller same day?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so. I'd be sick. I'd be buying that shit.
Because we all know how the Joy-Cons went with the original Switch.
Yeah.
We can only hope Switch 2 Joy-Cons will be better off.
Yeah, that's true. You think they would figure it out by now. But no, some sort of Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the Pro controller.
Yeah.
That'd be nice for a day one thing. I'd be down for that. Anything in mind for you?
No, I don't think it would happen, but I think it'd be really funny if Nintendo just, tried to push the boundaries to see what they could get away with and release this thing at like $650.
Oh my god, that would be the
That's why I started
biggest
laughing.
backlash.
I'm like, they're not gonna do it, but it'd be really funny. If
It
that
would be
happened.
very funny. I'm gonna say 500
because it'd be one of those where Nintendo's like, you're gonna buy it.
Yeah,
That's their attitude with everything. You're gonna buy it.
I'm gonna say 500. I think 500.
It's more reasonable. It's still expensive.
Yeah, it is
For a Switch.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I said early on in the year, like during predictions, I expect to see like a new 3D Mario to go alongside of it at launch.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's what makes sense.
right. Yeah, I think it's going to close out with a 3D Mario. It's going to so I am also in the mindset that sometime this year, I think,
Or they pull out a new Star Fox all of a sudden.
please.
I don't think they.
I don't think so either, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think that's like a franchise where you're just like maybe people will stop talking about it eventually.
They got, they have to figure out what to do with it, kind of thing. No, one thing that I think will appear this year, whether if it be at the direct or like over the summer, like a June direct, is that I'm still in the mindset, man. I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see an Ocarina of Time remake, full scale remake. I really think it's coming. Would it be at this direct? I'm going to say no, because I feel like that warrants the possibility of a closeout, but then you'd have to, what's more valuable as a closeout, Ocarina of Time remake, the highest rated game in gaming history, or a new 3D Mario. It kind of depends on your mood of the day, in my opinion. So I feel like this one would be the big 3D Mario reveal, and maybe over the summer, Ocarina of Time, remake for next year, which was the 40th anniversary of Zelda. So I can see something like that.
I don't think I'd want to see an Ocarina of Time remake.
That's it's kind of a mixed bag, right? Because like the game is such like it's still great as it is, and it's like so historic and so like the level of majestic that it is. It's like, do you want to touch that kind of thing? It's the same argument people have of they don't know if they want anyone to ever touch Chrono Trigger. It's the same argument.
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, the old graphics and the kind of the janky gameplay of it are what part of the charm to that game is.
Right.
It's like if you remake it and make it a lot smoother, it's like, yeah, it'll look nicer, but it's like it'd be one where it'd be funny for people to come out and be like, I prefer the old one.
Right. And there's gonna be people that say that, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I think it would be pretty sweet to see, especially if they took it up a notch and kind of added some extra content to it. Because like one thing that I think would be kind of neat, because it existed, you had the blueprint, so why not just add it as like an extra temple? Is add a wind temple. You had a wind temple blueprint. Heck, you didn't even change the medallion. Like the medallion you've got for the Forest medallion is still the wind medallion. You just changed the name of it. So I was like, you had a blueprint, a working model and blueprint of a wind temple. Why not add a wind temple? Keep the Forest temple in there because it's a great temple, but then add another temple. Add content to it, something like that. Because I mean, you had the stuff there, you had the assets, you made it. You just changed your mind.
Okay. First off, if you are going to remake the highest rated game of all time,
You're saying
you don't
one for one.
you don't change it.
You add to it, man. Make it better.
Yeah. What do you want to release it and the score plummet?
I mean, the score is not going to reach 100. Let's be honest.
The thing they could do was about it because I saw modded. Someone added into Ocarina the whole freaking time stopping bullcrap from Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, and I've seen the videos that you're talking about. Yeah, they're great videos of
Absolutely dumb.
adding all the different mechanics from Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom into Ocarina of Time. Love it. It's so cool to see those sort of mods that people do. But no, some other stuff that I could definitely see there is I could see more possibilities of because I just mentioned it because I wanted to circle to it, is like Sony IPs being moved over to the Switch, and the Switch 2 published by Bandai or someone else. Because like I'm gonna pull one out here. One that I could legitimately see, maybe like a combo package, or maybe just the first one that's remastered or whatever. I could see Gravity Rush being one that got brought over to the Switch. I really could. Both of them in like a little combo package or something.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. I could see being some nice third party stuff. I'm personally in the mindset I think you will see some Final Fantasy VII on there. The remake may come over. I'm not going to sit there and say remake and rebirth right out of the gate on the same direct, but I think remake will at least be a part of on this direct in some form. So just stuff like that. I could see some possible third party stuff, and then probably some basic shit. Like you'll probably see Madden, the new Madden, just basic dumb shit like that. You know, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting direct. You know, there's been a lot of reports as well. Something else to consider is that, you know, apparently the console's releasing in like a 3-phase project where it's like phase 1 at launch is like all very heavy first party, which that's a great thing in my opinion. And then later on in the year, like phases 2 and 3 is more like really focusing on the third party element of things. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. But either way, really excited for the direct though. I think it's at like 9 o'clock. I'm actually going to be training my new coworker, and I did confirm the other day that he is indeed a gamer, and I'm like, all right, good, because buckle up, buddy. We're gonna be watching this at work. I am not missing this. So I'm looking forward to watching the direct this week. But in terms of predictions, I'm gonna make a video about that and put it out probably Tuesday. Or I'll have it come out first thing Wednesday morning, and I'll have a lot of different thoughts of stuff that you could potentially see there. But I know one as well as whatever Sakurai's doing. Sakurai's cooking up something.
Yeah, he came out and said something a while back, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he pulled the rug out from underneath everyone, and all of his YouTube videos that he was putting up were apparently all pre-recorded super well in advance. Like he finished all those videos like a year plus ago from when they released. And that entire time, all of his videos were coming out on his YouTube channel. He had already been on like another project. Like he revealed that in his last video. It's like, by the way, I recorded all these like a year ago. It's like, oh God.
Sakurai just messing with people.
Yeah. So he's working on something. So I expect to see something from him. What it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a brand new game. I don't know if it'll be a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster, which I'm sure he would love to do. Because, you know, with the mouse feature may make the game a lot easier to be played.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a Switch 2 enhanced version of Smash Ultimate with even more characters, but this time the new characters added are legitimately just Nintendo first party, so they don't have to do any more deals. You know, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but I expect something Sakurai to be there. We'll see. But do you guys have any other predictions?
How many Switch 2 bundles do you think they're gonna have?
That's a great question.
2.
Because they'll have like their initial one.
Yep.
They'll have their Mario.
Are you talking about longevity or just initial?
Initial?
Yeah,
because I expect to see like the just the basic one. I expect to see like a Mario Kart one, and then what would the other one be? The other one, like if they have a first party Mario, they could do that.
It would either be Mario or Metroid.
It's not gonna be there.
Calm down. Don't be mean.
It'd be whichever one they would push harder for release.
Yeah, whichever one is going to release alongside it, I think a bundle will show up for that.
Yeah. I think there will probably be, I'm going to say 4 total SKUs. There will be 2 basic, just the Switch, and 2 different color variants of some capacity. And then there will be 2 bundles, one with Mario Kart and one with, I'm going to say Metroid as well. I'm a Metroid fan. Metroid Dread did exceptionally well. Metroid Prime is a great franchise. Some very high reviewed games. I could see it being a thing because we got to keep in mind that game got rebooted, and it's they've put a lot of money into the game.
Hey,
so I say put it front and center.
You know, shocking twist. Neither of those. Splatoon 4.
Hey, that would move copies too, man.
I mean,
People love
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
It would. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason they keep making those games.
I mean, the person managed to stay on the Splatoon server after it died for about a month.
Right. So I could, whenever Splatoon 4 does come out, I could see that being.
Oh, it'll get one.
Oh yeah, it'll get one. I'm also curious, if there will be any special edition consoles at launch. Like, will there be a special design for, like, let's say Mario Kart or a Metroid, for example, like a themed one? I would say no. I'm gonna say whatever bundles you guys can be the base Switch, and the first special edition Switch will be whatever new 3D Mario comes out this year.
Yeah. If a 3D Mario comes out with it, it'll be the special edition bundle.
Yeah.
That. Like at launch.
Yeah, because I wouldn't see them starting with a special edition.
Yeah.
Everything else will just be the basic Switch.
Yeah, I agree.
If they do have a special edition, it'll be from like something we'll never hear about or know about.
Right.
And it'll be like a special license marked Switch 2 in some form or fashion.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited for this damn direct, man. I feel like the direct's probably going to open up with just like a lot of feature based stuff. Probably one cool game, and then like a lot of feature stuff because they're gonna definitely showcase the whole this whole mouse feature. They're probably going to talk about whatever this C button is, which I've seen so many different rumors and thoughts and predictions on what the C button could be, whether it be meaning for communities and it's like your community tab or whatever that gimmicky social media thing that that rumor that was going around that seemed just stupid enough to work. I've also seen people just predict Connect, and it's something where you can connect another Switch to the Switch 2 and use as a second screen kind of thing. I've seen that. I've seen so much random shit, dude.
You hit it, it turns into an Xbox.
This is an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox. So either way, super excited for it. Looking forward to definitely talking about it next week. That's gonna be one of those topics that's probably gonna take up a good 40 minutes of the damn show next
Now
week.
I need that edit of just whenever we get it, just someone hitting that C button in the screen, it goes from Switch just Xbox.
Yeah, to have the Xbox intro logo. That'd be great. All right, let's shout out another sponsor. Let's shout out some Rogue Energy. Use our referral link down below, promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order, but they've got a different sale going on. Don't worry about it. Just use the referral link and you're still going to help out the brand. No matter if you're going to hit up the hydration, the chill, or the energy, they're all fantastic. Again, use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. Pew. All right, so now we are in weekly wrap-up territory, boys. Anything you guys want to shout out before we hit the Ubisoft thing that took place this week? Ubisoft thing. I gotta remember to pronounce the name correctly.
Don't know if did I bring up the Path of Exile 2 Lost. Well, I just Lost Ark.
Nope.
Lost Ark.
Not Lost Ark. Last Epoch. Sorry.
Last Epoch.
Did I bring that up last week?
Nope.
So Last Epoch, their season 2 launch date, they had planned for April 2nd, and they had locked that in for a while. Path of Exile 2 announced their next major update to the early access being April 4th.
Nice.
Not nice. Not nice at all.
Oh.
That's like a targeted attack almost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, my brain just processed the dates.
No, it kind of assuming it's not like a malicious thing.
Yeah.
But Last Epoch did come out, and they were forced to. They came out with a statement basically saying we're forced to move our release dates. They moved their release date back like 10 or 12 days, so that they didn't have to compete on that weekend with them. Because
right. That's fair.
Last Epoch is a much smaller studio that has a much smaller player base, and they basically came out. They're like, we kind of have to do this because we can't compete.
Yeah.
So unfortunate that's going to happen, or that ended up happening. Because I've been waiting on a Path of Exile 2 update, but honestly, I've been more interested in the Last Epoch, like season 2, because it's been a while since I played Last Epoch, and I was waiting on that next season to start before I jump back in.
Right.
So it's unfortunate to hear that news, but
Yeah.
hopefully there was no actual ill intent behind the date and everything. It might have it's probably one of those things where it's like, we know GGG's been having some problems with Path of Exile 2. They had, because I talked a while back about the Path of Exile 1 team and game not really getting content because they took half the team to work on Path of Exile 2. So hopefully eventually that gets sorted out. I'm kind of just assuming Path of Exile 2 is moving on and Path of Exile 1 is going to sit there for a year or more before anything actually happens with it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that was just, I forgot to mention that last week.
A couple things, just because they're both kind of humorous. So the first thing, with me just immediately just saying nice to that without fully thinking, the first thing I thought of is I saw a clip from Queso that cracked me up, where he was sitting there booting up a game, whatever, and he's going through reading some chat, and he read a chat message about this person saying, "Oh, hey Case, we watch your videos and streams every day, whatever. I'm currently like battling cancer or whatever. Just always brightens up my day, puts a smile on my face, whatever. And he's sitting there reading all this out. And when he finishes reading it, he's just like, R.I.P. Nina. Wait, no. On God, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say W. I meant to say, on God, I did not mean to say R.I.P. R.I.P. W. Nina. W. Nina. He's just like, look, man, I got people coming in here saying their dog died and shit all the time. My bad. So that's basically what happened to me just now. My bad. But the other one involving Path 2, man, is I saw just a hilarious just destruction. Just a double manslaughter. Double kill on Twitter from the the Assassin's Creed Shadows, or just the Assassin's Creed brand manager who's running the Twitter, where, one of the most, cringe man-child individuals of the gaming community, Grums, if you guys have heard of him. He was one of like the OG WoW developers, and he just takes that to his fucking grave with him. He's roasting whatever about Assassin's Creed, and he's been developing a game himself for like forever. And the Assassin's Creed Shadows account responds just like, our game is out. Just simple and put, because he's been developing one for so long. And then fucking Elon Musk comes and comments on it too, and he says something, and the Assassin's Creed Shadows account responds, is that what the person playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you? And I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. What a double kill. What a double manslaughter. Oh, just everyone in the comments below is just like, whoever's running this Assassin's Creed account needs a massive race. And I'm just like, oh, God. Oh, geez. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, but speaking of Path of Exile 2, April 4th, they have their next major early access release, coming out with a new class, the Huntress.
Nice.
Spear-focused class. Also, 3 other classes are getting their third ascendancy. I think it's the Warrior, the Mercenary, and the Witch are all getting their new classes. One of the Warrior, I don't remember the name of it, but it has to do, part of the ascendancy is basically focused around being able to, it's like Forge of Kitava or something, and it's about being able to customize your gear, like enhance your weapon with additional elemental damage, or like taking ascendancy points to where you don't actually have a crafted chess piece and you use your ascendancy points to actually craft it, which is an interesting thing that hadn't been around before. Witch is getting a Lich class.
Okay.
And Mercenary...
Berserker?
No, I forget what they're getting. I don't know. All the Mercenary classes are good.
I just know Mercenary classes for the grenade launcher.
Yeah. I mean, the Mercenary is just...
I say grenade launcher. It's a crossbow.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. It's crossbows, but crossbows basically have rapid fire elemental bolts or grenades. That's how you play crossbow.
Yes, that's exactly how you play it.
That's great.
But yeah, they have that coming out as well as a bunch of additional content. They're adding Rogue Exiles back in.
Oh, fuck.
There's they're adding in, I forget the name of it, but it's like some wisp that you follow in for, I forget what it does, but new content for that, and a bunch of like in-game changes, like mapping changes and that.
Mm-hmm.
So big update for Path of Exile 2.
Nice. Shout out to Path 2. All right, boys. Let's start going through the weekly wrap-up this week. So the first thing we got is this Ubisoft thing. This made some headlines this week. It's one of the title topics we got here for today. So what we got going on is Ubisoft and Tencent are partnering up to create a new subsidiary. So with this, there's been talks and kind of our personal theories and predictions for a while that Ubisoft was going to get bought out or sold by some company, some Sony, Xbox, someone was going to pick them up. So Ubisoft partnering up with Tencent to create this new subsidiary. This is basically their way to kind of stay afloat and still stay independent to an extent, right? Like they're not selling off or anything. Because with this new subsidiary, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, and I also saw The Division, are all going to be part of this subsidiary. So this new company is going to be basically the one running these franchises going forward, with Ubisoft owning 75% and Tencent owning 25% of it. Again, this is pretty much done for them to survive and not have to just sell to someone. Now, there are current devs across other parts where they have expressed a lot of concerns where it's just like different studio, different smaller studio heads are working on different properties. So like, okay, if you're basically not part of the big three, you could be on the chopping block at any point. You know what I mean? Which I could see that 100%. I saw a lot of people in comments, asking for simple terms to describe what this means. The best example I can give is think of the Pokemon Company. Right? Like Pokemon launched in the late 90s as its own thing. There was nothing, their Pokemon Company did not exist. And then early 2000s, Nintendo, Creatures, and Game Freak all came together and created the Pokemon Company, all three owning 33% of that company and the Pokemon IP. That's basically what happened here, except it's Ubisoft owning 75% and Tencent owning 25%. And Tencent, with all of their incredible buttloads of money, kind of putting funds into these projects to kind of help push them going, right? So that's essentially what's happening here with this subsidiary. So like the future of Ubisoft, it's like, well, it's still going to be going for now, but they did something to kind of save their ass for a little bit, but how long is going to be saved, kind of thing. So
Far Cry being a part of Ubisoft's big three is funny to me.
I mean, it's still a well-known title, regardless of how we perceive it.
I mean,
you didn't have to call it out like that.
I mean, you remember it around the time the last Far Cry came out, your response to it was the same as everybody else's. It's another one.
Yeah, it's a Far Cry game.
Yep.
They make the same game. No
With
matter
a different
what,
skin.
No matter what the franchise is.
They've made the same game in that franchise for pretty much a decade.
Yeah, and then
even their different franchise or different like games or like franchises they've tried, they just make a Far Cry game and slap a skin on it.
Avatar. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. That's what it's like. My favorite line is what you said when it was revealed or shown off. It's just like, that's cool. It's a cool skin for a Far Cry game.
They know how to make one game.
Yeah, and that's
They know
what
how
they
to
do.
make two games. They got Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because Far Cry took some stuff from Assassin's Creed to get to where it was.
even still, Shadows has done decently well, and it's like Valhalla did well, but other than that,
Even though people say in Shadows there's no point in playing the samurai guy, you should just play the ninja girl.
I've seen that too. Yeah. I also saw one streamer have like a crash out on someone in the comments where someone in the comments like, I just wish the parkour is what it used to be, and the streamer's just like, bruh, there's no buildings. It's feudal Japan. It's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean parkour? There's nothing to parkour. Look at 3. We were parkouring through trees, but then again, still not enough trees.
Yeah, exactly. So that cracked me up. But no, this new subsidiary, man, it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of handles going forward. And like I said, all it does is that it extends the ticking time bomb of Ubisoft's destruction. That's all it does, legitimately. Because I could definitely see a road somewhere down the line where Tencent can just take over the subsidiary and just tell Ubisoft to get out. I could see that happening some point where they're just like, we have so much money, we'll buy your other 75%. We don't care. Like, you're not helping the situation. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
They just have to wait on them to release a new game, and then they can go, yeah, you're not cutting it.
Yeah, exactly. It almost feels like the whole Bungie situation, where Bungie was just like, hey, if this DLC, this Destiny 2 thing, man, if they don't work out for you, Sony's over here is like, we about to just take you over, buddy. Like, you guys aren't cutting anymore. Like, what are we doing? It almost feels like that. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Next thing I've got is apparently per reports, GTA 6 lack of release dates causing havoc amongst other publishers trying to plan game launches later this year. One exec said, we don't want to be anywhere near that. Which I could get that. That is going to be one of the biggest game launches in gaming history. So I can understand studios just kind of sweating bullets like, I don't want to announce when our game's coming out yet. I don't want to throw that out in the universe.
You know what my favorite thing's going to be? GTA 6 is going to launch, And on the week that GTA 6 launches, instead of us talking about that, we're probably going to talk about some indie game that me and Zach found.
Yep, more than likely, most definitely.
Probably. Oh God, it was.
We'll be like GTA 6 came out.
Alex will put like GTA 6 like on the thumbnail for it, and then it's like we'll start the show. Go GTA 6 came out. Moving on.
I mean, look, I'm gonna play it, but how much I'm gonna talk about it, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll let you have like 2.5 minutes.
Whoa, 2.5. Come on now.
That's what we expect you to play.
Give me 3.5. Come on.
No.
4. Next up, Expedition 33 devs said the game was inspired by Final Fantasy X and Lost Odyssey.
Both fantastic games. I have both.
Wanted to throw that in there because I like the Lost Odyssey shout out.
Did you actually play that?
No, I haven't played it, but it looks
Oh.
really cool. So like, it always makes me happy anytime I see someone shout it out.
Do you want to play Lost Odyssey?
I mean, I can just get Lost Odyssey. It's not a big deal. Next up, Split Fiction now has 3 Guinness World Records. Shout out to that. It is the most played local co-op game on Steam, the most sold co-op game in 48 hours, and the most sold co-op game within 1 week of release with 2 million copies. So shout out to Split Fiction being a world record holder.
Not to diminish that in any way, but in 2025, do people still care about Guinness World Records?
It's a cool thing to say.
I mean, you could say it without saying you're a Guinness World Record holder. Just say, we've done the most.
Yeah, I know.
For some reason, when you put like Guinness World Record in front of it, I'm like, I don't care as much.
It's a world record.
It's official. It's an official world record stamp.
Yeah.
Nations will actually look at it and go, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll be the end of it. Then we move on. Let's see. Next thing is there's a rumor that Naughty Dog has another game in the works, but it is led by the Lost Legacy director. It's been in the works for about 3 years, and it was clarified that it's not like Last of Us Part 3 or anything. So just keep an eye out for another Naughty Dog published title at some point in the future. Hypercharge is now set to come to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So shout out to that. I did see this. Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 physical combos up for pre-order at VGP. So that is pretty cool. It is an Asian import, but it's region free, so it doesn't matter if we're over here in the States. You can still pick it up and play it. Persona 5, the Phantom X Japan will be holding a live stream on the 31st to give updates on the overall state of the game. In addition, the release date will be revealed in a May live stream. Alteria Yuma is the fastest selling game in the franchise.
Persona 5?
Yeah, the Phantom X. Yeah, it's a mobile game.
Yeah, more or less. It's so weird. Its whole story is just like it's taking place in the Persona 5 universe, but it's like the events of Persona 5 didn't necessarily happen, almost like it's a different timeline.
Is that what it's doing?
We don't
I
have.
thought it was just a spinoff.
Why do we have to put? Yeah, we get it. Persona 5 was the one that got a lot of people into the game. We could stop referencing Persona 5.
Well, because in the game of Phantom X, there's references to some stuff, but in like the same general area, but no reference to the events of 5 in general. And like even though the characters of 5 are in there, it still doesn't fully address that maybe it's a different timeline, maybe it's not. And we're just going in between crap. Because there's even a moment apparently in cutscene that's been going through where Joker shows up and he does Haru's lines.
Okay.
Yeah, he acts like he's Beauty Thief for some reason.
Okay. All right. Whatever, I guess. But yeah, Alteria Yuma is the fastest selling game of the franchise, crossing 300K units shipped worldwide. So shout out to that. Speaking of Alteria franchise, though, Warriors Abyss second major update is out now, adding some Alteria series protagonists. So shout out to that. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is coming to mobile on April 14th. And the last piece of news I've got is Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition was canceled by WB.
Woo!
They've canceled everything. For that
They
game.
have. And the reason why they canceled it is just they just didn't deem they had enough content to launch this thing at a definitive edition price. So I guess a little shout out, I guess.
Well, I don't think it's getting anything at this point anymore.
I don't think
it's
it
getting DLC or anything.
No, because this was supposed to have that content because there was like cut content for one of the characters. It might have been like the Ravenclaw house that didn't really get their character arc content. That was going to be in the game in this definitive edition as well as some other stuff. But yeah, they just cut it all. But
It's okay.
Moving on.
You know where we can get that stuff?
Where's that?
Hogwarts Legacy 2, the live service.
Yeah, I know, the live service game. Jesus Christ.
You could pay $6.99 for that.
Yep.
You'd think they would use the Nemesis system for Hogwarts?
I mean, it's one that would fit in more than a Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, true. I hope they put it in something. I don't care what they put it in at this point. Just put it in something. Don't let it just rot in the shelf. So at least that's my hope.
No, you can't do it now. Now they broke it because they tried to make it for Wonder Woman.
They did break it apparently. You guys got any news you want to shout out? Anything else to add to the show? Any other thoughts? Anything we talked
Apparently,
about?
there's a game out there called Date Everything, in which they added a new character of a. You can now date a 20-sided dice, voiced by Matt Mercer.
Excuse me?
There is a game called Date Everything, and they recently added a new romanceable character, which is a D20, voiced by Matt Mercer.
Does it have like eyes and stuff? Or is it literally?
No, it's literally a guy in like a DM cape and like a D20 on his head, covering up like his facial features besides his mouth.
What?
Let me see if I can find this again.
Date everything. All right,
Yes.
shout out to that, I guess. Jesus Christ.
My feeds are wild, man.
I can tell. Which feeds are we referring to here? Your TikTok feed?
No, my article feeds in the morning.
Okay, all right. That's fair too. What in tarnation? All right, well, shout out to Mount Mercer. He's in everything. John, you got any news? Got anything you want to throw out in the universe here? Pondering.
Nope.
All right, let's get out of here then. It's time for Gamesthetic Game of the Week. John, what do we got this week?
Did you remember it was your week? All right, guys, this is going to be a short segment.
He's trying to. I think he's. Are you looking at your Steam library over there?
Yes, damn right he is.
No, I was trying to remember what I wanted to do because I had like 3.
Remember.
No, last week I had like 2 or 3 ready to go.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
No, I need to check and make sure that I haven't said it. So give just a moment. I'm checking the
list that's not up to date.
God, I don't even know where it is.
The list.
It's like a month
There
behind.
it is. Yeah, no, I just need to see it early on. I remember I was looking because there was a couple from my Steam library I wanted to do, but the one that I wanted to do last week, I don't think I've done it. All right, Gamesthetic Game of the Week. Game that a couple years ago I was talking about pretty heavily. Referenced it a few times recently. Digimon Survive.
Oh, here we go. Why did I know that's what it was?
Because we've had a lot of recent Digimon talk.
I knew. As soon as you started talking, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Survive, isn't it?
Digimon Survive. It is a what's the word for it?
Tactics.
No,
Visual
novel?
Yeah, visual novel / tactics game. Where you kind of worlds get merged, and the characters that you play as and the world of the Digimon kind of get merged together, and through the visual novel elements of it, you kind of investigate the world and talk with the Digimon that you've kind of befriended and kind of come around to try to investigate what's happened and try to, as you go through the game, try to work your way through and essentially save both worlds. And it also has a tactics element to it where you just go into a grid for various battles. It has a couple interesting, it has a bunch of hidden stuff in it where it's easy to miss certain items or certain areas of the game as well. There are multiple different endings to it. I think the best ending of the game you can't even get on the first playthrough because you don't have the knowledge to be able to to know what choices to be able to make. But yeah, it was a game that for a long time I refused to believe was actually going to come out because we heard nothing about it.
And saw very little on any trailers.
Yep.
And then when it did come out, it very quickly became one of my favorite games of that year, to the point where later on in the game, the tactics battles kind of got in the way of like the visual novel elements for me. I wanted to know the story more so than I wanted to play the battles. And it's one where, especially if you're a Digimon fan and haven't seen it or looked at it and was like, that's not for me. I would highly recommend giving it a try. It is a fantastic story. It's a fantastic game on its own. And these days, I mean, you can find it these days for real cheap. It's probably on sale somewhere for $5-10.
True.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend picking it up. It's a very different type of Digimon game, but it is honestly one of my favorites.
It's very good.
And if I remember, it does have replayability because isn't like a couple of the characters you can only save in like a second playthrough.
Yeah, through the different endings, you can't save. I think there's 2 characters that you can't save on the first playthrough.
Yeah.
But when you go back through it, you can, and you can make the various choices throughout it, because certain choices and like how you make your choices determines like how your Digimon evolve as well.
Yeah.
So like through certain playthroughs, you may not get the final form of the Digimon that you want, and if you go through go back and play it again with different choices, you can end up on a completely different path.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with the game. It's what I've honestly been considering, like setting it up and doing a casual playthrough on it again. But yeah, Digimon Survive, highly recommend picking it up if you're even a small Digimon fan.
No, it is a very good game. It's definitely worth to pick up, just from the replayability and just how dark the story is.
The only disclaimer I would like to add is that it is very handholdy at the beginning, so it does take a bit to get into the meat of it.
That's true.
It probably takes 5 to 6 hours for it to become like less handholdy.
Yep.
But a lot of that is just very a lot of the early is a lot of the heavy visual novel elements kind of leading you into it to let you know what you're in for. By the time it gets less handholdy, the story, it's like by that point, the story should kind of grab you. And if not, then if you keep going with it, the story gets better and better as it goes.
Yeah. So, shout out to Digimon Survive, another Gamesthetic game of the weeks in the books, and a very good one at that. All right, boys. So the music. Let's get out of here. Go around the room.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. I do want to add on Infinite Nikki 2.4 is going to be coming out. Have fun with that.
All right. I don't know what he said at the end there, but if you like what you saw here with us, then we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So you can come check us out live then.
Yeah, and we'll be back live next week to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. After that, we got South of Midnight the next week. We got Expedition 33 not long after that, so it's going to be a pretty fun month. Again, make sure to check out a couple new things coming out this week with the Gamesthetic Game Shelf, a Shorts and TikTok series that will be going up every single Sunday until it just doesn't. We'll see. Looking forward to that. I've already got a handful already recorded, ready to go, as well as the new monthly Metacritic score predictions. I'll be posting that up on either tomorrow or either Monday or the 1st, around that range, so get excited for that. But also make sure to check out all the sponsors down below, Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy, as well as our own store, Spark 3 Shop. Shout out to the Patreon if you want to support us further. We'd appreciate that. Shout out to our Tier 2 patron Hannah. We appreciate you. Join the Discord. Be a friend, tell a friend. Until next time, bye.